Hello, everyone. And this is Simon with AvaTrade. And today we're starting our series of your weekly trading plan. And why is it important? Actually, some of you in some of the webinars were asking about this. And we will try to run this and see how helpful it is to our traders. So, as they say, you plan the trade and then you trade the plan, and unfortunately most of the traders don't do it, and that could be one of the reasons why they're not so successful. So before we go any further, I just want to go over the risk warning, which is important. Any capital markets and trading information disclosed in this webinar is provided for informative purposes only and should not be construed or applied as investment advice, a recommendation, or suggestion. CFDs are complex instruments and come with high risk of losing money rapidly due to leverage. 71% of retail investors' accounts lose money when trading with CFDs with this provider. You should consider whether you understand how CFDs work and whether you can afford to take the risk of losing your money. And you can read a disclosure statement on our website at avatrade.com. And of course, you can visit YouTube for more webinars and information recorded. You have trading platform tutorials, fundamental analysis videos, technical analysis, and so on. So let's move to the trading platform and start going through the instruments. And today agenda, we'll go through a few indices, some commodities, Forex pairs, and stocks, US stocks mostly. And we'll go and take a look what could be waiting for us in the upcoming week. So let's start. Okay. So we are at the terminal, and let's take a look. Let's take a look what the upcoming week is showing us. So we'll start with the S&P 500 and take a look. You could see clearly that we're at the all-time highs, and the high of the last week was 4407.5, and we closed below 4400 at 4398.75. So what could be the scenarios here? Of course, depends how the week will go, what the fundamentals will show, and what earnings of the companies will be showing. Of course, that will reflect on the S&P 500. But as of now, we see it's an all-time high. So we can go to daily chart and we can draw the line on the previous resistors around these levels. So it could be that we come back to this level. And the level here, the high was around 43.8350, and we'll see how we hold here. We could go straight through it and go retest lower levels, or we can start building up a strong support here. So that's something that we could be looking for. And of course, people that are looking for the new highs, they could look at the highs of last week, or Friday was the last day, and place your orders anticipating the move higher. So it depends what you're looking for, and it's important to have a plan what exactly you'll be looking for. If you're looking to short against the highs of Friday, so that could be something in anticipating the move down and taking the profits at the low range of that day. So you can break down and take a look. It depends what the time frame you're trading, and so on. So that's something to keep in mind. The high of Friday, which was 44.7.5, and the previous level that we actually bounced from, that was the 43.8350. So you can draw yourself this range, and then you can trade the range every time it goes higher. if you're looking to trade the range again, not to break out, so you can sell potentially here and cover here. And now another thing for the people looking to short, they would be probably watching this level on some price action building up below the level. So we would go back to the shorting zone again. That means that this level becomes a resistance again, and we could start having some ideas on the move down, if that's what you're looking for. Let's take a look at Dow Jones. Dow Jones, unlike S&Ps, actually did make the new highs, and you can see some people might find this as a hammer and a possible change of trend of reversal. Take a look. We pretty much have this is the weekly chart, so the daily looks more interesting. You have almost like triple top. We refuse to break it down, so a lot of people probably the traders, technical traders, would be looking to shorting this formation here. And let's take a look what could be the possible target area. Okay, I like to put the line here because this is what we first had the long stop after this level here, which was 34,141. We actually had a consolidation before we break up, and then we have a few times we play with this level here. So if Dow Jones index chooses to go lower, potentially this could be a level of profit taking around what we said here, 34 or 37 area. Okay, let's take a look at Nasdaq. Nasdaq made a new high on the tech rally, and similar, you can draw the line here, the top of Friday, and the previous level that we bounced from. It's right here. So I have a nice range here. The high of Friday was 15,116 and a half, and this level here is 14,993.75. And if you break down the smaller time frame, they look very interesting here. Take a look. We bounce from here. So next level, if we choose to go for a little correction, this would be the level to look to. Okay, that's the Nasdaq. Let's take a look at FTSE. Okay, FTSE were a little chaotic because there was some mixed news. On one side, we're talking fundamentally now. On one side, there was a total reopening of any kind of limitations of COVID, and on the other side, they had a lot of cases there. So take a look. FTSE was really acting up. It was a sell-off. Then we tried to bounce. Let's take a look on the weekly chart. The weekly chart, it also, some people might consider it as a hammer candle, which possibly could show a sell-off over here. So again, this is your level. The high of the week was 69.71, and the low of the week 67.35 and a half. Okay, so this could be the range that trader would be looking to trade. Again, you can zoom in the smaller time frame, and you know, for those that you like to trade day trading, you can break it in certain levels of the day and trade the ranges. DAX. Okay, let's take a look at DAX. Also didn't make the new high, and actually there was a sell-off here of the week. Also, you can say it looks, again, I don't want to say you should pay attention or you shouldn't, it depends on you, but some traders consider this as a reversal, this kind of candle, which is a hammer. And let's take a look on daily chart where the 4 up days, and we still didn't make the highs. So similar idea, you can trade the range on this. Now let's move to Forex. And before we do, we do the pairs, I like to look at the index and dollar index and see what exactly it's doing. And I've drawn some lines here. Take a look. There was a sell-off on the index, and it's important to see where we're coming from. So we're going from, of course, from the time of COVID, and the dollar index fell tremendously from 103.71.5. We had a little correction here, and then we continued. So this was the bottom, and it was 89.625, and that was December, mid-December of last year. Since then, we tried to break through this level. We didn't close on the weekly basis, we didn't close below. And over here, we confirmed that level again. And that was February of this year, and that was 89.660. And then we went higher to 93.455, and that was March of 28, and we came to retest the level, and we confirmed. And take a look, this is beautiful. How if you put the level right, which is no brainer here, that was the low, and then we retest here, and then we retest a few times. This was the false breakout, which didn't happen. We didn't break out, and then we came back to this lane, and it was 69.630, and then we had a few days up. This is a very strong day up, and now we're on the way up. So to confirm this level right here, 93.455. And you have to understand a few things. Just a little side note, how the levels are forming, and usually the strong levels are being formed by big players, and it's very simple. You have a limited buyers or limited sellers. So over here, this level could be broken because there's some huge buyers are sitting there just buying it, and every time come to that level, the sellers don't have enough power to break the level or to close below this level. That means that limited buyers, the big players, are still in play, and they static, they sit at those levels and they buy it. And the same thing idea here, there was somebody or we don't really know, and they were selling here, and it doesn't matter how strong the buyers were, they couldn't break it. So now we could be, again, there's no guarantee, we could be coming back to this level and retest it. Okay, and that's very, very interesting, because if you look at this level over here, at this area that after being a resistance became very strong support, and in a way there was a beginning of a strong move up. So if we actually break through this level here and we establish some price action and start closing about this level, this could be a move to the higher levels, and of course it's going to be gradual, and I don't like to make any predictions, but we should go level by level. So if we do break this level here on the dollar index, and we establish some kind of a support here, this could be next. So we're not going to be focusing more on this. The reason I showed it that the dollar is strong, so any pairs um, I chose the pairs, the majors that to do with dollar mostly, and that's why as we see potential on the dollar going higher, that means the pairs against the dollar could be seeing weakness and a sell-off. So let's begin with euro dollar, and you will see how it shows a similar idea. It's getting closer to certain levels that if we break, we could see, okay, this is the level on weekly again that we started from this recent move, and that was 117.37.4. As you could see, so if we do break this level, and we're very close to it, that we could start building up below. That means the support that was up till here is switching to be resistant, and we have a potential of a move down on euro dollar. Pound, let's take a look at the pound. You can draw a few lines here to take a look. This is the level from which we bounced really strongly and made new lows. So take a look. This level here is 135.14.1, and with this spike weekly, that was actually on Friday, with this spike, we're very short of that level. There was 35.71. We're about 60 pips from that level. So the similar idea, if we break this level, so we can go into a shorting zone here, that potential could be huge on the move down. Dollar yen. Dollar yen. This was a strong move, and we can actually draw the level on the top of this move. And if we switch to daily level, it will make sense. Take a look. We sold out from here. We broke through it. We had a false breakout. All the buyers, they got in, they got really scared, and they turned into sellers the moment we returned below this level. So we on the way to retest this level here to the upside, and that's 110.961. So if we retest and we fail to break through this level here, we could see a turnaround, but this retest is a very close one. So there is also a possibility that we're gonna go higher here and establish a price action about this level, which could lead to potential move higher. USD CAD. The move started here. I'm going to just draw the line so you can take a look. It looks very nice with the lines here. And this was the previous week's high. And we broke through this, but we closed lower. So this level on the previous week high, 1.26221 is our reference. So it looks like we couldn't break through it. That means that this tail on the upside was a fake breakout and it didn't hold. So let's see how we play with this level again. If we establish closing on a daily basis, at least, I'll take a look. This is a weekly chart. So the weekly chart will have 2 days below that level. After again a false breakout that got all the stops in, and the following 2 days we went below here. So we want to watch this level, and at the same time the Friday's low we could see as a possible trigger to the downside. So the Friday candle, which is a high range, we went from 125. Wow, it's about 200 pips. That's a huge move. So this range could be an interesting point for us to watch the upcoming week. So we're going to draw this range. Let's see what happens. Okay, that was the USD CAD. Australian dollar. As you could see, as the dollar index we started from was very strong. So all the other currencies that look pretty weak. Take a look. I like to draw the line here also. This was the move up that ended here, and take a look. I draw it based on this level, but take a look to the left. Similar idea. Let's see the level just for fun. 0.73729, 0.73716. It's a 1 pip difference. So for those people that say the levels don't mean anything, again, I don't need to convince you, and I don't want to convince you, but there are no miracles. Take a look. The level of 2018 November 25, and 2 years later, almost 2 years, identical. We bounce from here and we bounce from here, and we're here at this level. So this level is a really key level. That's amazing. You gotta love the levels. So take a look. So far, we closed on Friday below the level. So the high of last week, it could be our reference, and people that are looking to sell it based on the weekly chart, actually, that This could be our stop. Let's take a look just for fun. If it's about 30 pips risk here of a potential move lower here. Just take a look what happened. We came here, we sold out strongly. Then we came back, we refused to break it, we pulled in again, and then we made a move up. So all these moves, it could be, again, if we choose to go lower, all this accumulation is waiting for some profits. So if we do break below again and start building the price action on the sell side here, we could see a nice move down. That's very interesting on Australian dollar. New Zealand dollar, with all these tails, it's very hard to trade the tails, right? Let's take a look what we see here. So let's draw a few lines here. We sold out from here. This was the recent high, and we're sitting. It's very hard. We need to see some serious bars here, because this thing is just trying to getting the stop out on the high volumes probably. So it's very hard to say. So we're gonna probably try to see how it's acting on the daily chart. Let's take a look. This was the stop of the move, and we can establish a little range over here. Okay, so we could see some buyers stepping in here and some sellers over here. So this could be the range we'll be trading, but it's very choppy in New Zealand dollar. And I just want to bring another one is USD ZAR. As you could see, there's a lot of chaos in South Africa, and the currency is reflecting strongly. Take a look. After USD sold out, the ZAR was strong here for some reason, and we bounced. And take a look. We came from around here, and now we're holding a strong support. So 1451.39 on the daily chart. It's a strong support, and the next level of resistance around 15 and higher. So there's a potential of it going higher and finding some resistance around 1509 area. Okay. So let's look at a few commodities. Crude oil is very interesting. Let's take a look. All this move on the crude oil, move to daily chart, the current. All this move, in a way, started when there's a lot of uncertainty what's going to be with the OPEC. Let's take a look. All this move, we went from a 61 and a half to about 70. What was the high? 76.96. We hardly hit $77. And this sell-off happened the moment they achieved the agreement and they increased the production. And take a look. There was a very, very strong, I think this was the day when the news came out on the 19th. And it was a strong sell-off. And then we had a move up, and then we're actually on the upside for the 3 consecutive days. So what could be the play on oil? Besides all the fundamentals that we're watching, and of course, Wednesday's inventories, let's take a look what can we do on the technical part. On the technical part, we could see that the move started over here, the down move started over here, and the high was 75. What was the high? 75.42. We're trading at 72.16. So potentially, if oil chooses to go higher, this could be the hard level to break. We're about $3 away from it. So we're kind of in between of the ranges, in between of the levels. So this could be our range. The beginning of this move was low of 66.49, and we said the high was 75.42. So we'll see. We'll try to watch the price action, what happens here. Now, if you move to 4-hour chart, we see that this level was a strong resistance, and this is a 4-hour chart. So potentially, we could face a resistance here again, and there was a 72 and a quarter. So for people that like to take chances shorting it, this could be a level to short with the stops. Probably immediate stop would be around here. It's a low risk trade. Again, it could be low risk for someone and high risk for somebody else. Depends on the position, depends on the account size. But technically speaking, we should see some resistance at these levels, 72.25. And of course, we should be watching what the markets are doing in general. Now, I want to bring to your attention coffee for this week. It's been very crazy, and I think there was an article on some of the digital publications, and the coffee. It's a fundamental thing, and there's a strong drought in Brazil, and the farmers are actually panicking because they're really worried about the harvest of coffee. And take a look what happened. Take a look at the weekly chart. This happened in 1 week, and that's not a fake chart. That's a real chart. Take a look. The week started, or the low of the week was 155.55, and the high was 209.15. That's tremendous. That's probably the biggest weekly candle ever. Let's take a look. Yes, it is. So let's take a look. Friday, I was watching the coffee, and take a look what happened on Friday. There was a gap. No, the chart's not showing. Anyway, let's take a look. Yeah, it shows over here in the hourly chart. Take a look. The gap. We closed on Thursday at 195, and let's take a look. The opening happened at almost $10 higher. We opened, and then we went and we closed the gap. So close and lower, it could be potential start for the reversal. Okay, and of course there's always profit taking. So again, would this be just the profit taking of this level, or could this continue? So put, you can put coffee on your radar. It's a very interesting play here. So again, there's a large range, there's lots of space for all kind of traders. If you are a swing trader, if you are a scalper, if you're a day trader, whatever trader you are, you can find opportunities in coffee. Keep in mind that commodities are risky assets, especially soft commodities. Okay, so coffee is on the radar. It's all over the place. It's very interesting and a high potential. Of course, it comes with a high risk as well. Gold. Let's take a look at gold. Okay, gold's been acting interestingly, and after this move, I like to make ranges on the big moves. So let's take a look. This was the week of the big move on gold. Let's just draw. So this is the range of week of June the 13th. The low was 1760.91, the high 1873.77. It's $103 range. Let's break it to a daily chart, and let's take a look what happens here. So we sold out in 1 week strongly. It would try to move higher, and we came to retest it. This one, it's kind of a quick retest, and the support held here, and we tried to go higher, and we refused to continue. Okay, so we covered. Let's take a look. We even can draw this. Can't see much, but we covered part of the move, and then we refused to go higher, and we're kind of in the middle of this range. So it's hard to trade it here. Why? Because you can see the moment you see these huge tails, that you probably, if you do try to trade it, you get a lot of stop outs and so on. Of course, some people, there's always, and that's the beauty of the market. The buyers are thinking we're going higher and retest higher levels. The sellers are looking for the lower levels here. But let's break it down to maybe a smaller time frame, and probably you could see with the tails, it's very hard to find any entries here. So if you're a scalper or a day trader, you can go to a smaller time frame, but again, you don't see clear levels here. The range is here, and you could see one thing, that we are actually trying to play with the 1800 level, and we're playing it for a while. See, and we're closing close to it. So again, it's also psychological level 1800. So we want to see not the tails, we want to see a closure on a daily basis, maybe on the daily chart. We want to see closing below 1800 in order for it to go higher. Okay, and we could see probably take a Friday range as a indication or reference for us. Let's do that. So we'll take Friday range, and let's see. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Yeah, that's pretty much. So we come to this level, the 1810. We have about $21, about $20 range. Okay, it's hard to trade gold. Of course, if you have the positions and you have an opinion on it, you follow that. But on the chart is showing it's really a lot of indecision here. So we could go either way over here around 1800. So just we'll be watching. And at the end, I just want to go through a few stocks. Actually, we have a few stocks that are reporting this week, and we are in the reporting seasons. So we have Tesla reporting on 26, Apple, Microsoft reporting on 27, Facebook, Boeing on 28, and Google, Amazon on 29. So let's just go through a few of them, and of course you could see charts that are not so pleasant to see. And of course Amazon, not too many people trade Amazon. It's an expensive stock. And Boeing, it's an interesting stock over here. As you know, it's connected to what's going on with COVID, of course, with the flying industry and so on. So Boeing is reporting on the 28th, and I don't really know what you can see on this chart besides the certain level we come from. It's hard to say. Facebook, it's probably a little bit easier. At least on Facebook, we have a clear that we made a new time high. So the new time high on the Facebook was 375.01, and that was the last week. And the low of that week was 334. So about $40 range. Let's see on the daily chart how it is. It's hard to trade, I think. Again, these gaps, the thing with the stocks, of course, you're trading CFDs, but if you bought a stock the day before, you can't do anything. before the opening of the session, or if you looking to buy a stock, you can't really do anything till the opening of the session. So all these gaps. Let's see what the earnings are. And again, it's hard to say anything, any planning here, but you have a clear range here, about $45, which is a big range for the stock, and it's going to be a lot of action, of course, in it before the earnings. Let's take a look at Apple. Let's take a look. Sorry, I'm just going to find Apple really quick. There you go. Okay, Apple is interesting because here you have some references because we are not at all-time highs. Okay. And we still have some kind of resistance here. So the high of Apple was 149.83. Let's see on the weekly chart. Yeah, that was the high. So the previous week was the high, and this week we didn't really touch it. So if you look on the daily chart, the high here was 149.83, and the low that retest or where we bounced from was 141.51. So we have about $2 range, $2.50 range, and we have something. At least people that don't believe that Apple should go higher, at least they have certain level for their orders, and that would be the high 149.83. And of course, it's very close to the psychological order or psychological number 150. So let's take a look at this level, and this is going to be our reference for the Apple stock. And of course, Tesla. Tesla is probably the most controversial stock, but interesting. On the fundamental side, people were making fun of Tesla, and now all the companies are trying to catch up with the electronic or electric vehicles. So Tesla, at least we can do a little bit of a range here. The summary, you have in a way a double bottom. This is the daily chart. You have a double bottom that kind of confirmed, and you have the top. Let's use this level as a reference that we had the false breakout within. So we on the way to retest the low here was 619.59, and again they're coming out on the 26th, which is Monday after the market. So it's going to be a very interesting day session. So again, most of them coming out after the market, and of course, if some of you are looking to buy the stock, you'll be buying it before the news or after the news. You can't really do anything after the news are coming out because that's going to be the end of the session. And the last one I want to bring, the Pfizer stock. As you know, it's one of the leaders in producing vaccine. And also there's been a lot of news recently that vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine, is kind of not that strong against the new variant. And let's see how it reacts. So far, the stock was strong, but this is the level of resistance here where we stopped, and that was on the weekly chart. The high was 41.89. We're about 30 cents away from it. So let's see what Pfizer is doing, something that you can put on your radar. Because if the news and a lot of publicity will be saying negative things against the Pfizer vaccine, it could affect the stock. We could possibly squeeze some profit out of it. Okay. So again, to summarize, we went through indices, and S&Ps and Nasdaq made new highs. Other indices didn't, and we spoke about dollar index that it's on the way up to retest the previous resistance, and we went through the Forex pairs that are connected to dollar index closely. We went through oil, coffee. Coffee is it's a historical move over here, something to really pay attention to. And we went to the stocks that are facing earnings. And of course, you can research other stocks. There's a lot of stocks coming up with earnings. And let me bring the other screen back. Okay, so again, a recording is available on our AvaTrade YouTube channel. And thank you everybody for attending this webinar. And I'm looking forward to seeing you in a week. And I wish everyone a successful week. And I hope that you'll do the right things, you make the right plan, and you follow it, and it will bring you positive results. All the best, everybody. Take care.